Welcome guys to my channel. Today what we're talking about is USL expansion, more specifically the Chicago USL team. So if you've been following MLS lately or over the past many years, you probably know that Chicago Fire is on a bit of a downturn in terms of the whole hype around the team and in terms of the attendance. If you look at their stadium, it's quite empty usually. Yes, they've signed players like Bastian Schweinsteiger and Nicolas Gaitan, but they haven't been able to get the best results on the pitch besides the 2017 year, so that's been not helping bringing any fans to the games. This season they're on a bit of a comeback in the 2019 season, but overall the fans aren't coming to the games, so they've got to make some changes. So they're trying to put a bit of a fresh coat of paint on their team because they're planning to move out of their current stadium, SeatGeek Stadium, which is located in Bridgeview, to Soldier Field, which is located in Chicago. Because one of the biggest problems with Chicago Fire is their stadium location, as it's located quite far away from the downtown, which makes people not want to come to the game. I mean, heck, it's not even located in Chicago. It's located, as I said, in the village of Bridgeview. So they want to move out of SeatGeek Stadium, move back into Soldier Field where they used to play back when they started in 1998, and then they might get a soccer specific stadium, though I'm going a bit ahead of myself as they don't currently have plans, but I would assume that would be the end goal. But all these plans could be pushed even more by this USL team, as they've got some quite amazing plans for what they want to do with just a USL team, because you don't see these type of plans, especially just a few years ago, which is quite amazing. So now on to the whole Chicago USL team stadium. In 2016, a developer called Sterling Bay bought a large piece of land where a steel company used to be. And then in mid-2017, then they released all these plans that included things like, I'll read them over. It included office buildings, a 6-acre park, restaurants, and agreed to make certain improvements to the neighborhood, such as infrastructure development. This plan became known as Lincoln Yards. So you might be wondering, where's the stadium in all of this? Well, that came later, as then Sterling Bay, who actually ended up bringing an expansion team, they were the main owners in the expansion team at the time, they came up with a plan to build a stadium on that site, on Lincoln Yards. They added it to the Lincoln Yards proposal. The stadium was located right along Lake Michigan in the north side of Chicago. This whole plan was also included by a Live Nation Entertainment District, which also added a bit of interest to the design. Also, what really helped propel this whole plan was when the Cubs owner, Tom Ricketts, became the majority owner, adding a lot of money to this whole franchise, and was really helping to push forward for the stadium to get built, as he had quite a bit of money, could invest quite a bit in this team, and makes it look like a lot more of a reliable option to say, hey, maybe we should give it a chance to the Chicago USL team to build a stadium here. This whole stadium is also part of the proposal. This whole Lincoln Yards proposal, along with the stadium, was this whole thing that they said would actually help bring the HQ to the whole Amazon headquarters to Chicago. Of course it didn't, I can't remember the two cities that they ended up bringing it to, but that was announced later. That was announced earlier this year, but of course that didn't happen. That would have brought 50,000 jobs to Chicago. The whole Lincoln Yards project could eventually span to 100 acres in size. So what was the result? The result was that generally the citizens living in the area in Ward 2 were quite opposed to this whole plan, especially they were opposed to the stadium and they were opposed to the entertainment district. So in January 2019, Chicago 2nd Ward Alderman Brian Hopkins rejected the entertainment district and the stadium. Brian Hopkins also made a survey that he emailed to residents in the area, so I'll read the results to you because they're pretty overwhelming about how the residents felt. So there were 870 respondents, 53% of who opposed it, 25% were unsure, and only 23% who supported it. It wouldn't have been a political winner for that councillor, that's for sure, so that's probably a big reason why he didn't do it. So as a result of the stadium not being able to be built, the majority owner, Tom Ricketts, who helped propel this whole stadium proposal and made this whole team seem a lot more of a big competitor to Chicago Fire, he left. So the Cubs owner left the ownership group and now is not currently with them. Despite Tom Ricketts leaving, USL and the whole owners of the USL Chicago team are still planning to go ahead with the team despite Tom Ricketts leaving and despite the stadium not getting built. So they're looking for other stadium options. But it's unfortunate that they weren't able to get this built in a way, because I mean, this would have been really neat to see in Chicago a 20,000 capacity stadium get built, and it would have been really good for North American soccer and for American soccer and for soccer in the Chicago area, because it's always great to have competition. It makes it so that those two teams, the Chicago Fire and the Chicago USL team, would be constantly working to gain fans from different areas of the city. And it's nice to see multiple teams in different cities, or multiple teams in different states or provinces. I mean, that's something that I find quite neat. That's why I like it with all these new teams getting created across the US, and then with the Canadian Premier League in Canada. It would have been quite interesting to see how this would have came about. But let's hope that they get a good stadium proposal in the future, because there are some quite neat stadiums getting built, not just in MLS, but there's some neat stadiums getting built in the USL Championship as well. It's neat to see that US soccer and Canadian soccer are both developing. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I haven't done a video with this much research before, but thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content like this, because I'm planning to do some more videos on like Miami soccer history and on Chicago Fire. And until next time, see ya.